Hello, everyone. This is my top 15 favorite movies of 2015. Let's get right into this list. Coming in at number 15, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I would definitely love a sequel to this movie. It had a great style, that 1960s spy look, the costume design was fantastic. The music was great. Everything was pretty good about the movie, except for the action. I thought was a little bit too shaky and up close, but I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was very fun. I've only seen a couple of episodes of the TV show, so I can't really compare the two, but I thought the movie was pretty good, and I would definitely love a second one. Number 14, A Walk in the Woods. This movie was a lot funnier than I thought it would be. Robert Redford and Nick Nolte had some great chemistry. There were some good scenes in the movie, and it's just a very chill movie. Highly enjoyable. Number 13, The Martian. Great movie, amazing special effects. You would think they filmed it in Mars. It's fantastic. Ridley Scott did a great job. That's the Ridley Scott that I like. And Matt Damon was fantastic. Everybody was fantastic in the movie. It had some funny scenes, some really sad moments there, and it was a great space movie. Number 12, Kingsman. I thought this was a great movie. Really fun, great action. Everybody did a great job. Matthew Vaughn did a great job. The church scene, the other action scenes, they're all fantastic. Samuel L. Jackson was great. It was a very enjoyable movie, highly entertaining, a lot of fun. Number 11, SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. I'm a huge SpongeBob fan. I loved the first movie, and I liked every season before the first movie. I would say after the first movie, that's where the show started to go downhill. But I loved this movie. This movie was great. It felt like I was watching SpongeBob. This movie felt like an old episode, and it was just great. I was having so much fun with this movie. I really was. It brought me back. And it was great to see the animation, the way that it looked. It looked all nice and beautiful. However, this movie would have been a lot higher on my list. It would have been a lot closer to number 1. It might have even been my favorite animated movie, or my favorite kids movie of the year. It might have been. However, something happened in the movie that pretty much ruined it for me. It did. It honestly, it made me angry, and it took me out of the movie. And that usually doesn't happen, okay? I'm talking about the ending with the epic rap battle. Now, I personally don't watch the epic rap battle YouTube channels. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't watch it. I've seen a couple of their videos, and I think that of the ones that I've seen, I think it's pretty funny. I think that they have some great humor in a couple of those episodes. There's a couple that I saw that were corny, but I think a couple of them are pretty smart, and that's cool. However, this is a SpongeBob movie. They were doing the SpongeBob theme song, and they literally they were doing the SpongeBob theme song, and they cut it in half to do an epic rap battle. Not only did that take me out of the movie, and it actually made me angry. It did, because it just felt so out of place. It really did. It felt like they just said, we need something hip and cool for for the kids of today who are constantly looking at YouTube videos and looking at whatever is famous on YouTube today. So they just said, let's just throw in epic rap battle. And it's like, you know, the people who grew up watching SpongeBob, people like me, we did not grow up with epic rap battles. We were not kids when YouTube was around. We were not kids watching epic rap battles. So that's not something that we personally have a connection to. It's not like we're going to be watching the movie and we're going to start clapping because it's so amazing. And it doesn't bring back any nostalgia, doesn't bring back anything. The whole movie was just nothing but, you know, feel good and nostalgia. And then this epic rap battle scene came in, and I get that they wanted to do something probably for the kids of today or whatever. I'm sure that a lot of people liked it, but I feel like it was really out of place, and it just did not belong in the movie, especially during the theme song, which would have been amazing if they had it just the theme song and then the movie ended. I don't know why they had to do that rap battle. It really bothered me. It honestly did. It just completely like took me out of the movie, and you know, it made me wonder whose idea was that, because this is something that a lot of Nickelodeon shows are doing today. They're just using all these internet things for humor, and I think that the internet should stay on the internet. We should not be seeing that stuff in movies, because the movie, by having the epic rap battle scene, this movie dated itself. It look at the SpongeBob movie, the first SpongeBob movie, and it still holds up today. It's a great movie. It's hilarious. But if you look at, for example, the David Hasselhoff scene, now back then and today, kids will watch that movie and they might not know who David Hasselhoff is. They might not have known who he was when the movie first came out, and the kids of today might not know who David Hasselhoff is. But that scene is still hilarious, because David Hasselhoff, to kids who don't know him, he's just a random shirtless guy who all of a sudden turns into basically a speedboat and carries SpongeBob and Patrick on his back as he's like just, you know, going across the water. It's hilarious. It's a great scene. But then the rap battle scene, it's not funny unless you really watch the videos and you're a fan of them, because really it's just out of place. It just did not belong in this movie, and it bothered me. It did ruin the movie a little bit for me. I wish that it didn't have it. But other than that, besides that scene, I loved it. I loved the SpongeBob movie. I thought the animation was beautiful. I thought the live action scenes were beautiful. They looked like an early 2000s movie. It had a nice style to it. It had a nice look. Everything was colorful, and all the voice actors were great. You know, they're still doing a great job after all these years. It's fantastic. I'll definitely watch the next SpongeBob movie. This better not have any YouTube celebrity do anything to it, though. They gotta stay away. All right, keep that out. Keep internet culture out of movies, because then you date the movie and you alienate the people who don't watch that stuff. So it's whatever. Number 10, AntMan. When I first saw the trailer for AntMan, I thought it looked terrible. It just looked like it was full of CGI, and there was all these things going on. The jokes were not funny. I just thought it was going to be another mindless movie, but I still saw it and I loved it. This is definitely one of my favorite Marvel movies, right next to Guardians of the Galaxy and maybe Captain America Winter Soldier. It was a hilarious movie. It was, the thing that I liked about it wasn't like the trailers made it seem like it was just like another mindless superhero movie with a bunch of explosions, CGI explosions, and a bunch of garbage, you know, trying to make it look a little bit like the Avengers. It was nothing like that. This was basically, it was a smaller heist movie, basically, with some great characters, some great lines, a pretty good villain. He wasn't the best, but he wasn't bad either. He wasn't Thor the Dark World villain, you know, bad. He was actually a little bit menacing. It had some great scenes whenever Ant-Man would shrink, and it was just it was really good. It surprised me a lot. I was not expecting the movie to be that good. I really wasn't. From the trailer, it just looked pretty generic, but definitely, definitely a lot better than the other Marvel movie that came out in 2015. And I would love to see more of Ant-Man. I'm definitely excited for the next Ant-Man movie. Number 9, the funniest movie of 2015, Spy. This is another movie that the trailer did not interest me at all. In fact, I was not going to see the movie. It looked pretty stupid. The trailer wasn't funny. But then I hear all these things about it, all these great things, and people saying how it's hilarious and it's the funniest movie of the year. And it is hilarious. It is so funny. The trailers did not spoil any of the jokes. The story was actually pretty good for a comedy movie. It actually had a story that a spy movie could have. It had some really cool twists in there. Some great actors with hilarious lines and great comedic timing. And great gags, and the action was pretty good too. And it was terrific. Yeah, it surprised the hell out of me. Loved it a lot. Spy, fantastic. Now I feel much better about Ghostbusters, knowing that Paul Feig, he's got it. He's not a terrible director. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Ghostbusters. Number 8, Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland looked like it was going to be a groundbreaking movie from Brad Bird. It looked like it was going to be a movie that would have everybody talking about it. Unfortunately, the movie disappointed a lot of people, and I understand why. I was not disappointed because I loved the movie a lot. I loved it. The adventure feeling that I got from it was just fantastic. I really enjoyed all those scenes before the third act, and that's where a lot of people had problems with the movie, was that third act, that ending, and I really did not like it either. I hated that ending. I thought it was garbage. They could have done something completely different. All the magic stops once they reach the ending. It's gone. There's no more adventure, and it actually does drag on a little bit. Once they reach Paris, I thought when they reached Paris something interesting was going to happen, but instead for some reason they teleport to Paris, and then they take a spaceship to Tomorrowland, which makes no sense to me other than just some added exposition. But it was like such a wasted scene because they did nothing in Paris. They teleported there. I thought they were going to teleport somewhere important, but they ended up teleporting around the world to get a rocket ship. I feel like if the movie would have been an adventure all the way through, it would have been much better. And the ending, it really is generic. It's like taken out of another movie with CGI robots fighting, and it's just like not what I expected at all from Tomorrowland. I thought it was going to be this beautiful, grand, you see in the trailer that she's walking through Tomorrowland and you see how beautiful it looks, and you're like, wow, is that what's going to happen when she gets to Tomorrowland? And I know that they wanted to do the whole whatever. They explain why Tomorrowland is the way it is in the movie. They explain it's abandoned and whatever, but I just think they could have done an even better job at that, because you don't even get to feel like you're in Tomorrowland. Even when they reach it, it's like that's it. They're in this CGI world. It's not even a tiny bit as exciting as the grid is from Tron. It's like, come on, it's not exciting. It's not interesting. That ending was really not good. They could have done so much better with that. But I still really loved everything before the third act. I loved the action scenes. The scene where the animatronics were raiding George Clooney's house, I thought that was fantastic. The fight scene in the store, the Blast from the Past store. I thought that was great. And Brad Bird is a great director. He's good. I want to see him do more live action movies, of course. But Tomorrowland just needed a better ending. Maybe a different writer, somebody else to come in and change that ending, because that ending was really not that good. And the whole like thing about the movie where it's basically like an apocalypse kind of a thing where they're like the world is going to end in a couple days because they're sending out signals. That whole thing should have honestly been scrapped. It was just a little bit too convoluted with that whole thing. It wasn't fleshed out enough. They could have definitely done something else. Number 7, Inside Out. Inside Out is the return of Pixar. Their last couple of movies have been okay. I did not see Monsters University. I did not see Cars 2. I heard a lot about Cars 2. Brave was okay. I liked it, but it could have been a lot better. But it was not a bad movie at all. Inside Out, however, is Pixar at its best. It's like an older Pixar movie. It's fantastic. It's not as good, in my opinion. It's not as good as like the earlier Pixar movies like Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo. It's not up there, but it's very good. It's a great movie, some great animation, and great characters, and kind of sad too, but that's expected. Pixar always has a lot of stuff like that in their movies. Number 6, Run All Night. Run All Night is Liam Neeson at his best in recent times. With Taken 3 and Taken 2, that's just garbage. That's just garbage. But Run All Night, that's Liam Neeson. That's an action movie, a great R-rated action movie. Amazing cinematography. Let me just point that out. This movie looks nice. This movie is one of the few movies where I can watch and I say, I know exactly where they are. Because a lot of these movies that they say that they're in New York City, they're really not even filmed in New York City. And then there are some movies that are actually filmed in New York City, but they don't look anything at all. Like they'll do things to change the whole look of it. But this movie, like, I really felt like I was in a house in Queens, because they captured that feel so good. They captured the feeling. You feel like you're in Queens, you feel like you're in Manhattan. It's just great the way that they caught the streets at night and everything. The visual style is beautiful. The action is pretty good. It's got some great action scenes, a great car chase. I definitely think that this movie is up there with A Walk Among the Tombstones as Liam Neeson's best in recent times. Terrific movie, Run All Night, Walk Among the Tombstones, and I'll say Non-Stop. In recent times, I would say those 3 would be pretty good. Much better than Taken 2 and Taken 3. But anyway, coming in at number 5. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. This movie was something else. That plane scene, the bike chase, the car chase, the underwater scene. This movie was just a thrill ride. This is Mission Impossible. This is what an action movie should be. This is fantastic. It was a great Mission Impossible sequel. It was a great movie. It never for 1 second stopped being entertaining. Just all the way through. There's always something going on in this movie. It was fantastic. Great spy movie, great action movie. Some amazing stunts. Some of the best stunts I've seen in recent times. That I don't think anything is going to beat that plane stunt that Tom Cruise did. And the story was very good. The villain was also good. He was a lot better than the villain from Ghost Protocol. But this movie was just great. It really was. Coming in at number 4, Creed. Creed was awesome. It was intense. Terrific performances from everybody. Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Ryan Coogler did a great job with the directing, and I believe he also wrote it. But it was fantastic. Great movie. Really, really suspenseful there at that last fight. Hearing that Rocky theme really gets you hyped. It was fantastic. It really was. Number 3, The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino. This might be my 4th favorite Tarantino movie, and it really just crazy. It was this is just a crazy movie. It's hilarious, a lot funnier than I thought it would be. The blood effects in this movie were great, and the writing was fantastic. The story was great. A lot of people are saying it's too long, and it is a long movie, but I don't think it was boring. I never once was bored. I was entertained all the way through. I thought each character was very interesting, and they all had their own secrets. So I thought that was very good. Loved the movie. I still think Django Unchained was a better Western, but The Hateful Eight was very good. Number 2, Mad Max Fury Road. This is probably the biggest surprise of the entire year, because the trailer looked good, but it didn't look like it was going to be the greatest action movie of the last 10 years. Like, this is what a big budget R-rated summer blockbuster should be. This is what every big budget blockbuster should be. Of course, George Miller, he did the other Mad Max movies, and what a great job he did. Once again, he has not lost it. The special effects were amazing. That's the way that blockbusters should be. They should, of course, use CGI, but CGI should always be used to hide things and to fix things. It shouldn't be used to create things. Like a lot of movies that come out today, they'll create things out of CGI. They'll create scenes. They'll create characters. They'll create things that are not there, and they'll add them in. Like some movies, they'll add in a gun that's not there, or they'll add in an explosion, a CGI explosion, and you can always tell. And if you can't tell, then you're going to end up telling in a couple years when technology moves on, and it just dates the movie. But that it's sad, but it's going on right now in a lot of these movies. But this one, Mad Max, this movie was just like practical effects were needed, and CGI where CGI was needed. That's the way that it should be. That is a summer blockbuster right there. Amazing. One of the best action movies of the last 10 years, easily. And Morton Joe was fantastic. That is a villain. He is the type of villain that he could be in any movie series and he would fit right in. All right, the villain should always be memorable, and Morton Joe was that villain. He was just amazing. All right, and my number 1 favorite movie of 2015, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Of course, there's nothing I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said by someone else. This movie did not disappoint. Okay, J.J. Abrams did not disappoint. The movie did not disappoint. The story was amazing. The characters were amazing. Everything about it. Special effects were great. This was an experience. This is also how a blockbuster should be. It should be an experience. It should be larger than life. This was an IMAX, a true IMAX experience. This was a movie that was so entertaining and so unforgettable. Kylo Ren, General Hux, even Captain Phasma, even though we didn't see too much, but just those villains, the heroes, Finn, Rey, seeing Han Solo again, seeing Princess Leia again, although she's a general now, seeing Chewbacca again, BB-8, Poe Dameron, all these characters, they were just great. None of them were forgettable. None of these characters were shoehorned in. None of them felt like they didn't belong. Just everything felt like Star Wars universe. Everything was just perfect. This is high quality entertainment. That's what a movie should be. A movie should entertain, and Star Wars The Force Awakens goes above and beyond that. I've seen the movie 3 times already, twice in IMAX, and I still want to see it again. It's the type of movie that when it's over, you want to see it again. So many memorable lines, memorable scenes. The ending, I absolutely loved the ending, and I cannot wait until the next Star Wars movie. And that's it. That's all I have to say about Star Wars The Force Awakens, because I could go on about it. So this has been my top 15 favorite movies of 2015. Thank you for watching.